Hey, welcome back to another biography. I was looking here over the report or the biography from a man from the Democratic Republic of the Congo. I think it's the largest country in Africa. His name is Marcel Isaac Saidi. His number is 3559 in case you're interested in maybe helping him out with a little offering. He says, I was born into a Muslim family and was the only boy in a family with 4 girls. I was so loved and treasured by my family that I could do no wrong and no one could rebuke me or question me. When I was 14, I visited a church on a Sunday morning out of curiosity to see how the Christians worshiped. And there I saw a beautiful girl who was singing praises to Jesus. I determined that I would speak to her at the end of the service, but it went on and seemed like a waste of my time until the preacher started preaching. The pastor spoke about the power of the cross, and I was the first person to respond to the invitation. Actually, I was ashamed how in the beginning all I thought about was this girl, but later I wanted to give my life to serve the Lord. That was in 1994. 1 week later, I joined the church. In 1997, I began Bible training, and in 1999, I pastored my first church. I was 19 years old, and since then I've been involved in church planting. Now, unless you think that's crazy, Charles Spurgeon, I believe, was 19 when he became a pastor. He says, my wife was from a Christian home and attended church all her life. An older girlfriend led her to Christ and she began singing in the church choir, and that's when I met her. She served the Lord all her life and is such a help to me as a wife and a ministry partner. She always desires to be with me and listen to me preach. He says, we have a family need of about $300 each month, and I receive about $30 from a friend. I have a public phone in my house that I rent for people to make calls. This helps us to survive. In some third world countries, you can buy what to us looks like a cell phone, but to use it, the owner has to punch in a key code. And when he does that, it begins charging for that phone call. So at the end of the call, the person hands it back to the owner, he pushes a button, and it tells him how long they talked and how much they have to pay him. And then he gets his money, and then he has to pay the phone company. So it's kind of like a business in your home. It's not a pay phone like we think of. He says, I have 6 men now pastoring whom I trained, and I've started 4 churches. Now keep in mind, this was when he filled out this application, which was a few years ago. All this after being trained by Samuel Muhima, the Final Frontiers director in our area. I speak 2 international languages, French and English, and I speak Swahili and Lingala, which are our local languages. We live in a small house with 2 rooms made of bricks with an iron roof, tin roof. I spend my time studying and training other men for the ministry, then going out to start churches and encouraging the new believers. He says, my country faces many political and military problems, and we're creating many orphans and widows. Social life has been broken down, and I give my life and lay it down to reach the people of my country, disciple them, and do likewise and start more churches. This is something that, because of everything that's been going on in the Middle East, you haven't heard much about it in the news, but a great civil war has been going on in the Congo now that's spilled over into neighboring African countries. And I expect hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people have been killed brutally, oftentimes by machete or being burned alive. So this is the type of struggle that he's living in, so that when you go out to witness or preach in a village, you can be captured on the way in or out or while you're there and slaughtered just because you're there and you're not part of that particular militia. So again, Marcel's number is 3559. I'm sure his family could use some offering to help them out and maybe an additional little bit of personal support. Since we began supporting him, he's led 1,000 people to Christ, baptized 202 of them. He's evangelized 58 villages. So that's 58 times he's gone out risking death. And out of those, he has started 16 churches. So the man's doing a great job. I'm sure he would be appreciative to know that you're standing with him. At the end of the video, be sure and look at how to proceed further if you're interested in helping him at all. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.